Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore. Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Turnpike Sports Book Report.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sportsbook. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E. Make your first wager of $20 or more and you'll get $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when your first wager on Borgata Sports is $20 or more. Get into the action with BorgataSports.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's Turnpike Sports Book Report, where we're going to be talking, as usual, about all the different state reports, the national reports. We've actually are going to be able to close the book on October with the reporting of Illinois.
Ah, yes. They're the state that always reports a little late, huh?
They are always about 60 to 90 days later than everybody else.
Wow.
We've also got a bunch of launches, including a new state launch. We have some new legislation to talk about, especially with Ohio there passing their bill. And
they passed the bill, but right now at press time, we're still waiting.
It's expected.
We're still waiting for the governor to sign it, but it looks like it'll be signed.
Well, we'll talk about that when we get to it.
That's everyone's guess, right? At press time,
he's expected to sign. By the time this airs, he may have already signed it. We don't know.
Well, let's hope so.
Yes, and but like I said, a bunch of launches and a few deals, especially a first of its kind deal to talk about as well.
All right.
But let's start off, like I said at the top of this little segment here, that we have all the October numbers to talk about. We can finally close the book on that month because Illinois brought in their report for the month of October, and it was well worth the wait. Illinois set new state records for total handle, online handle, and revenue for the month of October.
Well, look, like we said, October is the month for records in the sports betting industry, and Illinois is just the latest to set state records, right?
Well, I am actually very impressed with Illinois. Illinois came in and It's
a big population. It's got Chicago involved in it, so it's a big population. So it should
honestly,
be big.
Before even saying what these numbers are, I think you got to really before we let me set the stage with this, because in May, this state's going to change dramatically because they are going to be dropping the in-person registration.
Great. Good.
So you're going to see a hell of a lot more money coming in with Illinois because there's going to be a lot more people signing up for it. It's going to be a lot easier. Nevada, please take notice of this. But Illinois is going to be changing its registration requirements pretty soon. So you may see Illinois creeping up on New Jersey. More than Nevada, Pennsylvania.
I would expect it. We're very much expected. I mean, New Jersey is going to get some bad news when New York starts their mobile sports betting, and Illinois is coming up too. And you look, Pennsylvania has some pretty big numbers too. So, a lot of states with big populations are doing really good in sports betting, and that's great. And with Illinois changing its rules where it doesn't require in-person registration for their mobile sports books, I think that's going to make a difference.
I think you're going to see a lot more excitement about Illinois in the coming months.
Absolutely.
But Illinois, like I said, set records for total handle, $840.4 million. They haven't hit the $1 billion mark yet, but I think they will probably when that rule changes. Online handle, $803.4 million. Revenue, $52.6 million, all in the month of October.
Great.
Top 5 for October, because now we can actually do the top 5. Thank you, Illinois, for coming in with your numbers.
Yeah.
New Jersey led $1.3 billion. That was number 1 in October. Nevada, $1.1 billion. We actually talked about them. They finally joined the $1 billion handle club with New Jersey.
Okay.
Illinois came in third with $840.4 million. Pennsylvania, $776 million. And Michigan rounded out the top 5. Just under $500 million, $497 million.
Great. Now we got the final October numbers. They were really great.
I'm really curious to see what happens with Michigan, because I really thought Michigan would be moving a lot quicker.
Well, Michigan's up there. I think you'll see a lot more from Michigan. I think they'll blow everyone away when we get to the March Madness kind of thing. When I think of Michigan, I think of them as college sports and college athletics, and I think that's where they're really going to shine during March Madness. Although I could be wrong, but I think March Madness is going to be great for Michigan.
Well, staying with the October numbers, excluding Arizona, and that's because Arizona has not reported their numbers yet.
Oh, okay. Be like that, Arizona.
Yes. They have yet to report their October numbers. The entire nation's sports betting handle, the U.S. national sports betting handle for October, is $7 billion.
Wow.
A 36% increase from September, which was $5.2 billion.
Okay.
The national revenue in October so far is $504.5 million, up from $334.1 million reported in September. So even we are, as a nation, moving so fast, so far in just terms of 1 year.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Everyone loves sports betting. And look, the professional sport leagues, the collegiate sports are really, I don't want to use the word embracing it, but really working with the sports betting industry to really, really help fan engagement and things like that. I'm using marketing words. Fan engagement, they love that word, but it really is. It's really helping out the. I think it's helping out the numbers for the sports betting industry, and also it's helping out the numbers for the sports industry.
It's one of those things where a lot of people talk about where the next expansion is going to go, and honestly, I think everyone's talking about sports betting with the media expanding that way. You got to look at the iGaming coming up soon, too, because the iGaming is just going to increase all numbers.
Esports. Everyone talks about esports. Esports. They want to start betting with esports. So, a lot of states are getting legislation ready for betting with esports. So I think that's the next frontier of sports betting, if you're asking me.
Well, let's stay with October here. Year to date. After these October numbers, we're going to go year to date with this.
So wait, October nationally, just for October 2021, was that a national record?
That is a national record.
The $7 billion is a national record. Okay.
Every month now is almost going to be a national record.
It's pretty much a national record, right?
But year to date total U.S. sports betting handle stands at $42.19 billion.
Wow.
That is almost double what was wagered through October 2020. Now, in 2020, there were only 17 markets live. There are 34 right now.
I didn't realize there were 34. That's great.
Yeah.
I knew that it was over 30. It was around 30, 31, but there's 34, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. A couple other, before we get into Maryland's launch there, I just ruined the tease that I put up there. Sorry about that. Let's talk a couple of other numbers here. We had, going into November, they're starting to report the November numbers. That's how late Illinois is with some of their numbers. We had Oregon coming in with their numbers.
See, this is where it always gets confusing. You talk about Illinois, and they're always like a month and a half behind. Now we're going to talk about what? November numbers, right?
November numbers with Oregon. Their handle was down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that October boost.
Yeah,
well, I think
October is the month for sports betting. I'll tell you that.
I think with some states it's going to go up in November possibly, but a lot of states it's going to either plateau or go down. I don't know about Jersey. Jersey may not reach what they just reached in October, that $1.3 billion. Most states are going to have a little decline, I think, most of them. But Oregon came in with the lower handle. The only reason I bring up Oregon is because it has your favorite sport.
Oh, we're talking table tennis now?
I always bring up table tennis
Okay.
because it's a very interesting industry to me.
Oregon
this table tennis
and
betting
Colorado.
industry.
Oregon and Colorado. They're the hub of table tennis, I guess, in this country, right?
Well, Oregon set a record gross revenue this month, but I am just impressed with the way table tennis performed.
Okay.
It was in the top 5.
Wow, top 5.
It was number 5, but it made the top 5 in
Wow.
Oregon. Brought in a
So do you have the list of sports, the most popular bet on sports?
top handles.
Okay, they're top handles.
Basketball brought in $13.5 million in handle.
All right.
Football $11.1 million. Then you have soccer $2.6 million. Hockey $1.9 million, and then we have little old table tennis $1.2 million in handle.
Almost as much as hockey.
785 unique players. I love the way Oregon breaks down their numbers. You get a big old table in the press release. You take a look at it. It's got the handle. It's got the revenue. It's got the hold percentage. It's got the number of unique players. It's got the average bet size. And if you take a look at what they have here, it's always interesting to me with table tennis because I'm just amazed. The average bet size in November for table tennis was $66.67.
All right.
I don't even bet that much on the other sports sometimes. I've never thought of betting $60.
You know,
I've never thought of betting $20
I never
on
think of
tennis.
table tennis until you bring it up, but I wonder if there's a big month for table tennis. I wonder if there's like a national championship, if there's some kind of big tournament in table tennis that everyone bets on. I just don't know too much about table tennis. Like I said, I'm shocked it's in the top 5, but again, if you like betting on it, good, and if you're doing great at it, good. If you're making money, hey.
One other note from the numbers in Oregon. I've been noticing that the Oregonians, the Oregon residents, whatever you want to call them.
Oregonians,
Whatever they are. The people that live in Oregon and live and bet in Oregon, they seem to like in-play betting versus pre-match a lot more.
I gotta tell you,
I'm talking about in terms of average bet size.
I like well, you know what you're doing in play. A lot of times when you're doing in play, you're realizing, oh my God, I'm losing my original bet on this game. Take for instance, what is it? Last Thursday's Steelers, what was it? Steelers Vikings game. A lot of people bet on the Steelers, like myself, and it was going horribly wrong for the Steelers in the first half. At one point, the in-play odds were Steelers plus 22. And if people jumped on that during the game, guess what? They won. They won back. Hopefully they won back their money. But if they bet on the Steelers at the plus 3 number. But no, hey, in-play betting, yeah, that could pull you out of the fire a couple times, you know?
Well, listen to this breakdown of live bets versus pre-match bets in Oregon. There were 686,000 pre-match bets versus 315,000 live bets. Less live betting than they are pre-match, but the average bet sizes, pre-match was $24.55. The live bet average size was $50.
Well, hey, you know what?
I wonder if it's what you just said, the pre-match, and then you're trying to catch up on
all
the
of
live
a sudden
thing.
you see the Steelers using that game as an example again. You see the Steelers that I don't even know. It might have been the second quarter, or during halftime. The Steelers were at one time plus 22 during the game. And I know a lot of people jumped on that. And a lot of people made a lot of money. Hopefully they made their money back, especially if they were betting the Steelers like I was at plus 3 pregame. So, yeah, it could, like I said, it could save your skin a lot of times.
Also in November, Montana reported their numbers. First time the state of Montana has cleared $1 million in revenue.
Wow. Hey,
since the industry launched in March of 2020.
Was this Montana?
This is Montana.
Montana.
Got one last October number to hit you with, though.
Oh, you're still with October, huh?
Yeah,
was Montana November?
Montana was November.
Montana was November.
And it was $1 million in monthly sports betting revenue, not the handle. The handle was pretty good. It was like $5.5 million or something.
So you got one more October number. And then are we officially done with October now?
No, because you still have Arizona at some point.
Oh, Arizona, that's right.
State of Wyoming, their second month in operation was October. They saw their state handle increase by 73%.
Great.
from September. They went from September was $6.25 million to almost $11 million in October.
Great.
And that's another one of the online-only states. They don't have any retail books. Might as well just talk about Maryland right now. Maryland has become the 31st U.S. jurisdiction to offer legal sports betting.
Now, when is the date where people can actually place a bet in Maryland?
They did.
They did.
Yeah, last week.
Last week.
Thursday was the opening of the MGM, the Bet MGM Sportsbook and Lounge in MGM National Harbor.
Okay, so did anyone special make the first bet?
Of
That's always a
course.
big thing.
Governor Larry Hogan.
Okay, great.
And NFL quarterback Joe Theismann.
Wow, that's great.
They actually had a good showing right there for that. That was on Thursday. Then on Friday, you had Maryland Live Casino open up their FanDuel Sportsbook.
Okay.
Again, Governor Hogan.
Okay.
And
Well, he's been really great during this whole thing. He's been really pushing this along, and good for him. He should have the first bet.
and NFL Hall of Famer Ed Reed.
Oh, okay, great.
We had a Washington football team representative in one.
Yep.
And then a Baltimore Raven.
Now, how about online now?
Online's not going to happen for a while.
Okay, that's what I was wondering about. Everyone's pushing for online, but at least they started retail.
Well, online is kind of interesting. They've given out the licenses, but they still got to do a lot more testing, a lot more regulations. It's the same deal with Louisiana with their online sports betting system. Louisiana is talking late January, mid to late January, possibly at Super Bowl time, February.
Okay. Look,
Same thing with Maryland.
This should be relatively quick. I mean, they're not reinventing the wheel. There are other states that have online. They have other states that have regulations they can look at that they can adapt to their own state. And, they have people that can train other people how to do this. So, this shouldn't be taking too long. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on with New York. They're just a big mess right now, but it looks like they're getting closer and closer to it. So
New York has already named the operators, and the operators are starting to line up people to work with them as well. So
is everyone's kind of date I guess it would either be the Super Bowl or March Madness. Is that what everyone's talking about?
I think everyone wants to hit Super Bowl,
Bowl
because you get the double whammy.
That's
with
for
Super Bowl and
that's
March
for
Madness
online, yeah.
for online.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I think a lot of people want to hit both of those. Those are really two big events to start your sports betting industry off on.
If you don't hit it for them, you might as well then just take your time and do it, because you missed the big bounties for those things.
Well, and since you just mentioned that, waiting, we have Ohio. Ohio just passed their sports betting bill.
The House and Senate, passed the bill.
And as we said at the top,
at press time, we're sitting here waiting for the governor to sign it.
He has 10 days from the day that
he may
passed.
have signed it by the time this airs. So
he may do it.
He might do it in an hour. He may be in the process of signing it. We don't know. Who knows?
I wonder if it's one of those situations where he doesn't have to do anything. If he waits the 10 days out and he doesn't sign it, he doesn't veto it, does it pass? I would rather see him sign it.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, he said he's going to sign it. So, as we're taping this, he has not signed it as of this time.
He could be signing it right now.
on a Friday afternoon. He could be sitting as this. You're right. He could be sitting as this, signing it right now.
So.
But it's got the bill that came out of this. It may just create one of the biggest markets. You're talking 42 licenses for Class B type organizations, Ohio sports teams, casinos, racinos for retail sports betting. You have 25 online sports betting license minimum, because of the 25, you get 2 skins, so you may see 50.
Wow. Jeez.
Then you have the Class Cs, which are the bars, the restaurants, the bowling alleys. It was the very first state I have ever heard of where bowling alleys were lobbying to get sports betting.
Were they specifically mentioned in the legislation?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Good job on lobbying, too.
See, that's a great place for a sports betting activity, the bowling alley.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a great place. You got a bar, you got food, you got bowling, and boom, you got sports betting.
And I think some of the
now, when we say sports betting, we're talking about kiosks, right?
Kiosks, yes.
Kiosks.
But you mentioned the bowling alleys. There's this one chain in the country, Bolero.
Bolero.
that did a
what
deal.
a great name.
Yeah, that did a deal to have sports betting data broadcast on their screens in the lanes. So if there are any Boleros in Ohio, they're ready to go. All they need to do is get the kiosks.
I wish New Jersey would do something like that.
Well, there
for
are
the
Boleros
bars.
in New Jersey.
Okay, well, I wish the bars and restaurants were allowed to have terminals.
Buffalo Wild Wings with the BetMGM channel.
Well, you have the channel, but you can't place your bets there. They don't have any kiosks there. You
can use your online app for that.
I know, but it's the thought that you're talking about. Seriously, any place in New Jersey is a sports book. You can go into the bathroom and it's a sports book because you have your phone and your tablet and whatever you have. But
wow, that's not a great image to put out there.
The whole concept of if a restaurant wanted to do something like that, they could do that.
Well,
that's a nice thought.
But again, Ohio's not going to be launching soon. It's going to be, they're saying anywhere mid 2022 to 2023 for a launch of that industry.
See, that's just crazy.
Well, when you're dealing with that many licenses, I think you got to
get it. Yeah, I know. I get it. But, you can get the ball rolling, at least allow some of the casinos to allow sports betting or just put kiosks to start off and then gradually have your temporary sports book in a casino, then have it built in a casino, and then have your online,
Couple quick
Get
launches.
The ball rolling.
Couple quick launches to talk about before we get out of here. Twin Spires launched their sports book in New Jersey.
I gotta check it out. Yeah,
that's
can't
the
wait.
8th state for Twin Spire.
Okay.
FanDuel and Boyd FanDuel, Boyd, and Delta Downs launched their FanDuel sportsbook at Delta Downs last week. That's in Louisiana. As a matter of fact, their ribbon-cutting ceremony was hosted by Pro Football Hall of Famer Randy White.
All right.
And one deal to really hit this week, we have our very first Big Ten school signing a sports betting deal.
Okay, who is that?
It is the University of Maryland Athletics signing a deal with Pointsbet.
Wow, what a big week for Maryland.
Well, it's a big week for Big Ten because, like I said, it's the first Big Ten school to sign with Sportsbook. After all that kicking and screaming with the NCAA, they're now starting to do all these deals. You've got the PointsBet. It's a multi-year deal with PointsBet. PointsBet signage will appear in and around Xfinity Center and Capital One Field at Maryland Stadium. They're also going to have a bunch of programming, sponsored by PointsBet, signage everywhere, commercial spots. So this now marks the 4th school to do a deal with a sports book. You have University of Maryland here with PointsBet. Then you have LSU with Caesars. University of Colorado partnered with PointsBet. And University of Denver with Superbook.
Yep.
So we have 4 NCAA entities partnering with sportsbooks already. And, last but not least, Sport Radar did a 5-year extension with their sports betting deal with Canby. Sport Radar will remain Canby's exclusive supplier of NBA, National Hockey League, Major League Baseball, and college sports data in the United States market. That's it for this week's book report. There is more and more news to report that we didn't have time for. It's in the print version of the book report that will appear on the blog, turnpikesportsradio.com. Click on the blog button. You'll see the book report in print form there. Any news reports, press releases, info at turnpikesportsradio.com, and we'll be sure to include them in a future book report.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.